At some point, you just have to let people lose you, including people that you like and you don't want to leave your life. This is so hard because, at least for me, I've historically been the type of person who wanted to keep things going for old time's sake. I remember when I had my childhood friends, a lot of my childhood friends I tried to stay in contact with, and I got what I call the death sentence of a friendship, which is where you realize that the conversation only flows when you start to talk about the old days. I tried ignoring it at first, but eventually it just became so obvious that every single time that we met up and I tried to talk to them about my goals, my what I'm doing now in life, and tried to get the same from them, it just wasn't flowing the way it used to, and it became obvious eventually that it was just time to hang up the friendship, so to speak. And I think this is really important to be able to do, because I know I've been in the situation where I'm the only one putting in effort to try and keep something going. And I know a lot of people are in that situation. We're just trying to make that person continue being the person that we were friends with in the beginning. Or in a lot of people's cases, this applies to romantic relationships too, but the way I see it, every human relationship that you can have, it needs, there's going to be a point where, or there's often a point where the friendship just runs its course, because not every connection has to last forever. That's one of the toughest lessons to learn, but I think as an adult you just realize that, or you should realize that, first of all, that not every connection has to last forever, but ideally you'll realize later on that a connection doesn't have to last forever for it to be meaningful, for it to have meant something. I think I could have the best time with someone ever, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, even a colleague at work, and if it comes to an end after a short period, or even a long period, it doesn't matter how long it lasted. If it comes to an end, I don't think that diminishes the value of what you had. I really don't. And it can take time to get to that point. I definitely didn't think about it this way from the beginning, but eventually, in a weird way, you could actually see some beauty in that. The fact that it was what it was for the time, and then you're just on to other things. Another reason why it's really important to be able to let people go and to let them lose you is because people only respond to action. At the end of the day, people respond to consequences. If you're the only one putting in effort to start conversations or to make plans, and they're just not putting that same effort in that they used to, then they have to know what it's like to lose you. They have to realize that you're not doing that anymore. In some cases, the friendship will come back, in my experience, but I don't think you should do this in the hopes they'll come back. I think you should do this out of respect for yourself and respect for the value that you bring. Because at the end of the day, we all have a finite number of time, which means a finite number of people that we can spend time with in our lives. And so we shouldn't be wasting time with people who can't put in the effort. Even if, and this is the hard bit, even if they used to be someone who we had great times with, who used to fit us perfectly. Life doesn't really run on old time's sake. And it can have a really, really big toll on your mental health if you're going to allow, because if you're doing this, you're probably not only letting one person do this, you're probably letting multiple do it. And if you let people treat you like this forever, multiple people, then it's going to have a huge impact on your mental health and your self-esteem and just your overall quality of your life. So it doesn't have to be a negative thing, letting people lose you. It can be a gift to yourself. You can see it as you showing yourself that you matter, because a lot of people struggle with that. And so if there's one positive to take away from the fact that sometimes you have to let people lose you, is the fact that you get an opportunity to remind yourself how much you matter and how much you care. Because you can even see it as out of respect for the other person. Because if they're not putting in the effort, then maybe a friendship with you isn't what they need right now. And so by not forcing it, you're doing each other a favor. So I don't see it as a sad thing when people have to lose you and when you have to lose other people. It just is. It really just is. As they say, it's the circle of life. And the best part is, if you can be okay with connections ending, then you'll be the type of person who attracts more connections, because there's nothing more attractive in a person, whether it's friendship, relationship, anything, than unneediness. Not being a person who needs people to stay, needs people to come in. And I always say that if you want good people to come into your life, you should be okay with them leaving it. And if you can do that, the world really is your oyster, I've found. People appear in places you didn't expect, in ways you didn't expect. So if that's not an uplifting message, that you get the freedom to just live an interesting life when you are okay with letting certain people go after the connection has run its course, if that's not a positive message, I don't know what is.